Holidays. The Wiccan calendar is divided into 8 Sabbats or holy days, the 4 Celtic festivals, the 2 solstices, and the 2 equinoxes. Unfortunately, this is a very modern development. The Celts, for instance, did not observe the solstices or the equinoxes in the pre-Christian times. There is every evidence to suggest that the native Britons, who far as preceded the Celts coming to the Isles, did, but the ancient Celts did not have an 8-fold calendar. They didn't even have 4 seasons, only a summer and a winter. Gerald Gardner, again influenced by other occultists, especially in this case by the Romantic Revivalist Druids of England, brought this invented 8 Sabbat concept into Wicca. In traditional witchcraft, the holy days that are celebrated are different from region to region, and from tradition to tradition, and from person to person. An agricultural-based tradition may follow tides of planting and harvesting and celebrate harvest festivals, while another tradition may celebrate solar tides. Point is, the holy days are always timed by tides of nature and are different depending on where you go. The 4 old Celtic dates of Samhain, Beltane, etc. may still be followed in some places, but if they are, the solstices and equinoxes tend not to be. Again, Wicca is not Celtic paganism. It is a rewrite manifestation that bastardizes paganism. Cultural context. This topic is where the subject of seriousness and authenticity gets the most strain. It is so common in Wiccan circles to hear invocations to Pan and Thor, and Lilith and Ganesh, or any other assortment of gods and goddesses that the coven feels like invoking, with no respect to culture and heritage, and with no authority or historical context. Eclectic Wiccans' belief in the gods and goddesses being one makes these Wiccans feel as though they have the right to blithely call upon any combination of deities they wish. This is unforgivably New Agey and shows complete lack of seriousness and cultural context. Some traditions of Wicca do try to adhere to one culture's deities and religious concepts. This is an admirable step forwards, but most do not. In traditional craft, especially from the British Isles, the culture of the people of the land and of the people a few generations back determines the cultural context of their tradition. This is because traditional craft is part of the land and its people and its history. Wicca, as a modern invention and a mix and match of Eastern and Western occult ideas, lacks such a basis. Many traditional craft traditions in the Isles have an Anglo-Saxon or Germanic Norse feel to them, and beneath this, a folk memory of Celtic culture. Scottish and Irish traditions tend to be obviously more Celtic in strain. Oh boy. Goodness and light. Wicca has an entity of the modern day, and with its modern style and mostly urban following, has lost most of its connection to nature and the land. Wicca comes off as a feel-good, goodness and light religion, usually venerating their nature goddess as a very loving, motherly figure and viewing the unseen world as a place of positive power and full of helpful spirits. This completely unbalanced view, with a fixation on how wonderful and beautiful nature and the other worlds are. It is utterly not how our ancestors saw the gods and the universe, and it is not how traditional witches view things. Nature is both kind and cruel, giving and taking. There is a great darkness inherent in nature, both the nature world and in the personal nature of spirits and gods and humans. Harmful, destructive spirits are facts of life, both in the old times and now. And the fact that the goodness is just as likely to devour her children as give birth to them is also obvious. Wicca tends to ignore this darkness, preferring the goodness in the light approach. This makes sense on a psychological level for urban-dwelling modern people who have never experienced the hardships of living side by side with nature. And I have made many videos about that. Working tools. Quite true to the Golden Dawn-based system of magic that Wicca espouses, the tools used by Wiccans are the cup, pentacle, knife, and wand, representing the four hermetic elements. The magic circle drawn is based on the hermetic circles from well-known high magic grimoires such as the Key of Solomon, also used extensively by the Golden Dawn. The quarter calling is based on Enochian magic of John Dee, also resurrected and used by the Golden Dawn. Traditional witches do not tend to use formal sets of tools, although they have certain implements depending on tradition. The four-element system is not common, though some traditionals influenced by Eastern and Hermetic thought have traces of it. Okay. The Celts believed in the three realms, the sky realm, the land realm, and the sea realm. They did not divide everything up into the core elements. By far and by large, the tools used by traditional witches do not resemble the Wiccan working tools. They tend to be things like stangs, besoms, cauldrons, cords, skulls of people or animals, hammers, mirrors, various stones, horns, and bowls. Some traditions use knives as well, but without the New Agey symbolism attached. Some traditions may not use tools at all. Remember, tools are just extensions. They are to help us focus our energies, but they are not required. Circles are not cast and used to any major extent, at least, not like Wicca. The traditional term for a drawn circle is compass around, and often enough, certain natural places suffice for working areas, without the need to draw a circle. When compasses must be drawn, they are drawn by traditional ceremonies which bear almost no resemblance to Wiccan circle casting. The spirits of the land are invoked to uphold compasses. The ritual fires are lit. These are the necessary elements in most traditional workings. Sometimes spirits of the four kingdoms or directions are called, but this varies from place to place. The idea is the land is sacred already. Do not consecrate the land, you simply dwell upon it. The term witch. Some sensationalists, and mostly very young Wiccans, never tire of calling themselves witches, much to the horror of the public and the delight of the press. Other Wiccans think of witch as a dirty word and say Wiccan only. Regardless of where you believe that the word witch roots from, or what it once meant, the Christian church, among others, have blackened the word and corrupted it into a term of satanic evil. Most traditional witches do not use the word witch, refer to calling themselves the people, or have no special name for themselves at all. They sometimes say crafters or pellers or some other term, but witch was and is an ugly word intended to be an insult and at one time a serious criminal charge. In modern day, some traditionalists have taken to using the word witch to help lines of communications between them and New Age world, to speak in the language of the modern day, as it were. But if the word witch is used, it is by group choice or personal choice. House Farmington Trod uses the term witch to further its connection with the post-medieval form of the cunning craft that it practices, and for little other reason. Aside from the enjoyment of the term, like it or not, many have lived and died by it, and it meant something very important. So there's many things to discuss here. Let's talk about the one that kind of struck me the most, and that was that, paganism was about the religion, the beliefs, the spirituality, whereas New Age was about the show me the money. I mentioned in the very first part of this series here about the joke. What's the difference between a New Ager and a pagan? And the answer was 2 decimal points. A pagan would spend $1 for something, whereas a New Ager will spend $100 for the same thing. I also talked about how New Agers take on all these different things, the tarot decks and all that. My troll, Tara, she is somebody that sells her tarot deck. She does readings on Etsy. I'll show you a picture from her Etsy account. We got people that create oracle cards. They are then selling these oracle decks and all that. They're out to create things to make money. I have seen a lot of people on YouTube that have Etsy accounts. Now, if you are wanting to be pagan, follow the old ways for the spirituality, for the beliefs, for the religion, then yes, good for you. But if you're doing it and trying to think of ways to make money, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. And it seems like the Wiccans have openly and willfully decided that they are going to make money while they do this. And so they're New Agers. They're different. I have a lot of ideas and all that, and I can't help but everyone's wondering, well, should I create an oracle deck? I don't want to, and I won't. I am writing my book. I am trying to write a very well-informed book full of information. I'm not selling it to make money. I got the one person I was following for a while on YouTube. She had written a book, a workbook to help people build their pagan path. Not even 21 years old, and she's writing a book on it to tell people how to become pagan. She has not even experienced life, the hardships and all that. She has not embraced difficulty. And as it's written, you got these urban Wiccans who are trying to tell you about paganism. It's just bullshit, really. We also talked about titles and all that. And yes, I made a comment, there's a lot of people that like to say that they're high priest or high priestess. They're out to teach because they want to make a name for themselves and all that. And I teach to be teaching. I just want to help people, because that's my thing. I like to share information, and while doing this, not only do other people learn, but I learn, because I don't know everything. And so the reasoning, the inspiration, the intent for one's actions are important, and they reflect on why you're walking this path. I'm walking this path for the spirituality, for the information, for the connection, for all that does not go like this, where it seems like too many of these Wiccans are going out for the titles, the money, the power, and whatever, and it's disgusting. And it's not just titles. It's making a status to be revered, to be somehow more important. One guy that I used to follow on YouTube, he had another attitude adjustment to himself. He changed his name, and now he's the hell-bound heathen. And I'm going to let him explain why he changed it.
Hello my friends, so this is still Loken, but my channel's name has changed. It is now Hellbound Heathen. Now there's a couple of reasons why I did this. The main reason is because when people came across my channel, they really didn't know what it was about. It wasn't a name that just jumped out and really explained what it was about to people. And I want my channel to expand. I'm just going to be honest about that. I do. I really want it to expand and to grow and become more popular. And one of the ways to do that is to brand myself in such a way that people will immediately, when they come across my name, have somewhat of an idea of probably what realm or what area or what genre my channel is going to be about. So Hellbound Heathen gives people a good understanding of what my channel is about, without them actually having to click on my channel and read what the description is. So that's one of the reasons why I changed the name to Hellbound Heathen. The other one is it's easier for people to pronounce. People have a hard time pronouncing my name of Loken Scathach. And even just Loken, a lot of people have a hard time with. So calling it Hellbound Heathen makes it easier for people to pronounce, and it also works with the branding, and it's a name that just kind of came to me, and I decided to change it. That's pretty much about it. I just wanted to give that.
It's about his desire to be important. And to be important, he decided to become the Wiccan badass of YouTube. Way to go, man! In this series, it also talked about how Wiccans generally shun light. They are talking about light workers and all that. It's pretty... They're wanting to embrace only the select cherry-picked parts of nature, and when it comes to the reality of nature, they can't handle it. They refuse to handle it. So as far as I'm concerned, Wicca is no longer pagan. Wiccan is New Age. It belongs to the New Age group. So all these groups that say pagans and Wiccans are actually right, but they might as well just say pagans and New Agers. There I showed the bias between New Agers and pagans. Us pagans, we're old school and they don't like it. It's just a shame. It really is. So that's going to conclude this video series. I want everybody to take care, be at peace, and please leave your opinions down below. Thank you.